how do you get back from the big stuff to real life? Because I think it is an important question. It's very easy, particularly when you first start exploring people's metaphors with them, to get very, very excited by the metaphor and by the emotional charge that goes with the metaphor. So earlier this afternoon, I was working with a client who wanted to know, he's leaving a large software organisation and he's trying to decide what to do next. And he got really into the whole emotion of the whole thing and how he wanted to feel when he was, and this is where I got the feel free thing from, he wanted to feel free and able to move freely and strongly, and it would be fun and it wouldn't be a prison and it wouldn't be square and all of that. And he said it would be like being a 10-year-old kid in an amusement park with a free ticket to all the rides. And that was his metaphor. And we then explored, as I tend to do in my coaching sessions, what his heart thought about that and what his gut thought about that. Again, coming up with different attachments to the metaphor and different implications to the metaphor. So by the end of this, we've got this really vivid image of a kid in an amusement park with a free pass to the rides. And he's also able to combine the rides in different ways and that kind of thing. And at the end, I recapped what he'd just said, or a lot, the highlights of what we'd been talking about. And I asked, is there a relationship between all of that and what you said you wanted at the beginning of the session? Now, I did that with 10 minutes to spare before the end of the session, because at least 10 minutes is required. And so he then started to really think, what is the relationship between all this wafty metaphor stuff and real life, the nitty-gritty of what am I actually going to do next with my professional life? And that question, I had to wait a little while until he answered it. But when he did answer it, he came back with a detailed list of the specifications of his new job. What was specifically important to him and what would be included and not included. And he'd been able to deduce that from looking at the metaphor. So he could see what was going on in the amusement park and he could say, therefore, the following features are what's important. Once, and obviously I asked a couple of what kind of questions about those. And also I asked, what needs to happen for each of the elements that he'd mentioned? So he said he needed to contact certain people. I asked, what needs to happen for you to contact them? So he had an action list. Finally, and I think we covered this on the workshop, I asked the same question 3 times. Does anyone remember what that question would be? So we may not have covered it. I can't remember whether we did or not. The question is, what difference does that make?
Does it? Yes, we've covered it.
We did cover it. Excellent.
So, yes.
So ask that question 3 times. So what difference does that make? I'm going to contact a bunch of people. What difference does that make? Oh, then I'll know what to do next. What difference does that make? All I have to do is take the next step. So that's the structure of how I get back from the big blue sky valuesy stuff and into the nitty gritty. Katerina, does that answer the question?
Yeah,